don't hear the song.
They hearing y'all now because I ain't hit the button.
Get ready for Sonia, Teresa, Vanessa, Bettina. Come on. Say what? Come on. Say what? We got bam, hot topics. We got what the fudge. So bring it home. Say what? Bring it home. Say what? We got questions. We got the answers. You wanna chit? You wanna chat? You wanna talk about this and talk about that? You're in the right place to hear the facts. Bring it home. Say what? Bring it home. Say what? The ladies are bringing the conversation. So join us on Say What across the nation. Bring it home, y'all. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it home. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it home. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it home, y'all. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it home. Say what? Come on.
Y'all know how we do this. Say what? Welcome, 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 welcome on this fabulous Saturday, this fabulous Mother's Day weekend. We are celebrating the mamas, but before we do that, we're going to celebrate the mamas on this podcast. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hello.
We are and so excited to be here with you as well to celebrate your mothers, and we celebrate all the mamas. They mamas, mothers, mom, mommy, mama. I mean, it's so many different ways we could go. But we celebrating all the mamas this weekend. So we just thank you so much for being part of our show. And y'all know how we do this. The bishop said, I am on time to let some of the listeners know she on time. She's sitting here ready to lead the scriptures. So what is it that thus saith the Lord?
All right. Well, the Lord is speaking to the mothers today. Well, not just the mothers, but he's speaking to everyone and how to treat and appreciate the mothers. And so I'm reading Proverbs 31, verses 30 and 31. A woman may seem to be beautiful. Oh, let me back up. I apologize. This is the easy version. A woman may seem to be beautiful, but that can deceive people. Her body will not be beautiful forever, but a woman who respects the Lord with fear will receive honor. Praise her for everything that she has done. Everyone in the city should know about her, and they should praise her as she deserves it. And so it's very obvious why that verse was selected in honor of Mother's Day. And it's just reminding us of how important it is for us to celebrate our moms. And so not just our moms, but all moms, for all that they do, for the faith and the strength that they have and that they love and share with their family and friends, for the sacrifices that they make and how valuable the mother is. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the moms. And so just being reminded of that and the lasting impact that moms have on the lives of so many. And just being reminded that when you open up to Lisa, that moms, and they come in an array of ways. I mean, you talked about the different mothers and the different examples or the way you might say mom, but you might be a mom by marriage. You might be a mom because you adopted a child. You might be a mom for the fact that you're raising somebody else's child. You didn't adopt a child, but they were gifted over to you. Praise the Lord. However you became a mom, we celebrate you today because there are so many. I think about the many women who have mothered my children and stood in the gap and even been there for them when they probably couldn't come to me and talk to me about something. They went to the next best person, and it was like an auntie or one of my close friends. So I just thank God for all the mothers, and we celebrate you all. We salute you all, and I pray you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. And if you are a mother whose mother has transitioned on to be with the Lord, I encourage you to still celebrate her and not isolate yourself, because life does go on. And your mother wouldn't want you to be isolated and sad during this time, although we know how much you probably miss her. But I just encourage you to just find a way to honor her memory.
Absolutely. I think that is brilliantly said, Bishop. It makes me miss a lot of our neighborhoods have changed, our communities have changed, and not as much neighborhoods as they used to be. And having a neighborhood where you could go to somebody's house, Miss Such and Such, and they would mother you and look out for you. I was notorious for losing my front door key. Notorious, okay? And my neighbor 5 doors down always kept a spare key in this little jar. So when I got locked out, I would go, Miss Nixon, can I have the key? Okay, and she would stand outside, right? And you open the door and then you walk back down here and put that key in this thing, because if you go in the house, you're going to lose it. But just that mothering, to kind of look out for me, that I was never just out there without something, just was priceless to me. So I love the idea of the mothering, even if that person did not birth you. Ladies, what do you think?
Well, I can just tell you, we had a big mama in our neighborhood. And we wasn't running over there for no key. Big mama was that one that rode in the neighborhood, and she was, when somebody was giving her a ride in there, because Big mama I don't think drove. Big mama rode in the neighborhood and she scoured the neighborhood and she looked, and you better be doing all the right stuff, because Big mama was gonna say to your face, I'm getting ready to call your mama. Okay? So stop it now. Big mama did not play, and nobody, and not one of us ever thought to say out our mouth, well, you ain't my mama.
Can I say, wait a minute, I hate to interrupt, Bettina. When I hear this from other children, I get chills and I have to stand there for me, because the reaction is just, you don't say that, but I just marvel at what I hear that a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
We wouldn't have, not only would we have got the beat down at home, I think Big Mama would have got us too, for sure. Somebody right there with you, one of the other kids would have said, what'd you say to Big Mama? Oh no, we didn't play the radio. So yes, that mothering is major important. Major.
Absolutely. What say you, Vanessa?
Absolutely. Mothering the whole nine. We had more of that when we were growing up in our era. Nowadays, you better not mother somebody's child without their permission. But it's important. It takes a village. It truly does take a village, whether you yourself, the mother, they're doing it, or another mother down the street or next door, but it takes that village. And I can appreciate how I grew up. I don't think I appreciated it at the time. I didn't appreciate it at all. Couldn't wait to get grown and on my own, because I was tired of being under that mothership, the mothering.
Right.
Although I only had it for a short period of time. My mother passed away when I was little. But I had sisters who stepped in, so, but, and God blessed me with stand-ins. And they all know, they all played their part. Everybody had their part to play. And, it made me the beautiful, vivacious, outstanding lady you have before you.
All the adjectives.
More, but I figured I better rein it in.
Right. All the Proverbs 31:30. Okay, all of that.
You better say it.
Absolutely. And for it to be mentioned biblically, again, speaks to, God knew what he was doing when he gave it to Eve to kind of do versus Adam. And I don't think she gets enough credit. We get most of the, if Eve hadn't ate the apple, the both of them ate it.
Well, it was fruit. We don't know that it was an apple. It was
whatever.
Fruit.
But why?
I'm just saying. I like to be very specific, and I was thinking about my son, because he had to correct a few people when he was young, when he said the Bible says it was fruit.
It was fruit, but they both ate it. The point that I'm saying is, the point
she gave him a wink, nod, and told him to take a bite, and then he told him. And look, and when God came, he told, but you gave it to me. God said, "Oh, you a snitch? That's what you doing? Like I ain't see that." Okay.
Exactly. But again, mothers are to be celebrated without question, and to see them mentioned biblically. No matter what you call your mother, because there's so many different names that we have, terms of endearment for our mothers. But it's great to see, God speak to that and how they should be held in high regard. So thank you, Bishop. Vanessa?
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on?
in the world.
Y'all need to change this. We got to change this segment.
I ain't even say in the world, but Tina said in the world. I said
That was
before.
me. Bad on me.
Either way, we got to change it. But anyway, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give you the good, then the
Not
bad,
so.
and then the ugly. So we'll give you the
And we
good.
can't. And unfortunately, it's plenty ugly these days.
Oh my goodness, it's more ugly than good, but God is still good and God is still in control, and I'm not
Hey, come on
focused
now.
on all of that.
Hey.
But so the smoke was white coming from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel today. They elected, after it turned white, they then introduced you to the new Pope, which is American Cardinal Robert Prevost, who will be announced, or who was announced as the 267th pontiff. He chose the name Leo XIV, which is a senior cardinal deacon, announced all of this. But anyway, we have a new Pope. He's an American cardinal. His name is Robert Prevost, and he is the 267th pontiff. So we have a new Pope that succeeded Pope Francis, who just recently passed. What say you?
I feel honored that it was an American president. I was listening
President?
to some president. Ooh, sorry. Pope, thank you. It would be nice, honestly, if he was president versus what we had, but and that's another conversation.
Nice
But
to be president. Any of us can be president.
anywho, but what I admired was, well, first of all, I was listening to some of the pundits, talking about what would happen, and they said that the people did not want an American Pope because they felt like, with America being a superpower, to then have an American Pope would be too much.
Had everything.
So I was shocked when they announced that it was the American Pope. What do you ladies think?
And if I could just interject real quickly, I'm sorry, Tina, 1 second. And they said everyone on the streets there, whenever they spoke to them about this new Pope, even before he was announced, no one had a bad thing to say about him. They all loved him. So, and he's 69 years old. He's from Chicago, and he, again, is the first American Pope. So again, Tanya, Bettina, sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to add that in there as well.
So they said he's from Chicago. Is he from the South Side?
Southside?
That's what I want to hear him say. I just want him to get up there, and I want him to say South Side and just and keep it pushing.
Isn't it a sign of something you throw up when you do Southside?
I don't know. I just know that Southside.
See, that's why they didn't want an American president. I mean, a Pope.
Yeah, I am happy for him. I really hope that he is. I hear good things. Think good things have been said. I really hope that he is very strong in who he is. Okay, that's the word I'll use. I hope he is strong in who he is. I hope he is not easily persuaded by anything or anybody except the word of God. I really do. I really hope that. And that's kind of all I'm going to say on that. And I'm going to be in a watch and see kind of mode.
I stand in agreement with Junior Bishop, and I'm excited. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not expect this.
Me either.
I did expect someone different. I did believe it was going to be a change, whether it was a person of color or
not now, no ma'am.
And not necessarily, when I say color, not necessarily
darker brown,
American, yeah, but of color, just color. You know, I did expect that. So, but I didn't know that it would be this, and I'm excited.
But wouldn't our last one would be considered of color though?
Pope Francis.
Where was he from originally?
He was from Italy, wasn't he?
Was it Italy? Brazil?
I don't know.
I thought it was, I'm
Keep
getting ready to
talking,
pull
I'll
it
look
up.
it up.
No, you're right. He was from South America. That's
I was
right.
going to say that's color.
Yeah,
So well,
he was from
we
South
had
America.
one then.
He was
Yeah.
fair skinned, but yeah.
But they said that this was the most diverse group of cardinals that they had. They had 18 from African countries. They had a few from Asian countries. So it was interesting. My mom, when I was small, she said when I was born, she professed as a Catholic. And I said, ooh, how was that? Knowing my grandparents. I was like,
I
how
grew
did
up
you deal with
Catholic.
that? And she told me that they cannot become the Pope if you're over 80. And they automatically change your name. And I found some stuff out today that she told me when she became a Catholic was they changed her name. I said, what? What they do?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that they changed the name. And she said they changed her name. So I said, okay, well, did they want to change mine? And she said, no, that didn't happen. It was mostly her. But still, she said they had to be, because there was one person walked in with a cane. And I said, y'all don't need to pick him because he don't look like he going to be here long. So you need somebody who's young enough to be able to handle this or whatever. So they didn't pick him. That's the only thing I was looking for was the man with the cane was not selected. But I like the fact that he's 69, so he's got some time and kind of go from there. So I don't know.
You listen, you don't know. 70. He might have a year. We have no
We
idea.
don't know.
That's
Okay,
right.
I'm not trying to put the Pope down. I'm just telling you that just because he got a cane, he could listen. I might have wanted a Pope with a gangster lean and a pimp walk. I'm just saying, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with do not sleep on the pimp walk. All I can tell you.
You're right.
That would be nice, Bettina, if he just leaned a little bit, just
Lean back. Lean back. Lean back.
In other stories, so Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney told Trump on Tuesday that Canada is not for sale and it won't be for sale ever. And that was during an Oval Office meeting with Trump, moments after Trump called the border between the U.S. and Canada artificial and romanticized the idea of Canada joining the U.S. So Trump said he and Carney won't be discussing the U.S. acquiring Canada unless somebody wanted to discuss it. And then he said it would be tremendous benefits for Canada in the event of a wonderful marriage between the two countries. He said the benefits between Canada becoming our 51st state would be wonderful because he said he pretty much said we're taking care of Canada. And he said he floated the idea that acquiring Canada, despite Canada's repeated rejection at the White House, would be a wonderful idea. And to which the prime minister said, well, there are several things that are not for sale. You being in real estate, you know this. He said the White House for one. He said the palace in London is another. And he said, and of course, he's spoken during the campaign with the people who run Canada, and Canada is not for sale ever, ever. To which Donald Trump said, well, never say never. And then the prime minister repeated again, never.
Never.
What say you?
So I got to get in this one first. First and foremost, I want to know when that human with not so great hair started listening to Justin Bieber. Because Never Say Never is his song. I need him to step away from the song. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is I don't want a 51st state anyway because that's an odd number and I do even numbers. Keep me at 50. Stop playing. Stop trying to buy people that are clearly telling you they are not interested in being bought. Okay? I'm just done with it. That was my two things.
I just would like to, we were having a conversation before we came on air about dignitaries having to come to the White House and have to interact. Do you think, and I'm just posing this question, do you think they could not come and just, like we talked about, do it on Zoom? Is that an option for them, or they have to entertain? what's
They
going on in
should they
16
should
other
be
Pennsylvania.
prepared. They should be prepared for ignorance and having, to get a little bit indignant with the sitting person in the Oval Office of the United States. They should be prepared for anything coming here, having a sit down with that man, especially when cameras are also involved. You should practice how you're going to respond to this question. You should anticipate stupidity and practice how you respond to ignorance, in front of the cameras. Behind closed doors is a different thing, but if I'm coming to see you and I already know you ignorant, then I'm gonna have, I'm gonna at least have some responses to some possible questions and some possible responses to ways that you might come at me wrong. And I will try to have a more dignified response than you probably would in asking me said questions. That's
Or
my
telling somebody they don't have the right clothes on when their country's at war
exactly.
and thinking that's cute.
Yeah.
Miss Sonia, what say
I
you?
typically, I would agree, but when I say some tables I don't want to sit at. And if I know I'm going to be disrespected when I come to your house, why would I put myself through that torture? And I know what Vanessa's saying is right. I know it's right. At the end of the day, I'm just like, everything goes for him. And it's time for people to stand up, even if the United States of America don't want to stand up to him. Other people stand up and say, I'm coming for this meeting. I will not be disrespected. And if he says anything that is,
Out of the way.
disrespect me, yes, I'm going to get up and leave. I don't care how many cameras rolling. But I mean, until people start taking a stand, he's not going to stop doing it until something like that happens.
That falls under the category, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right now, it's cute to be ignorant.
Mm-mm.
And it was never cute.
It was
wasn't
never
never cute.
cute.
To them, it is. To them, it's cute.
So
But-
whoever the them are, they're not cute either.
Exactly, and they're not. They're not.
I'm curious, just for the sake of the conversation, do they go to China and meet with Xi as often as people come here to the United States?
Nobody's gonna mess with Xi like that, though.
No, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying on camera, we see all the dignitaries come into the White House. I never see dignitaries going, with the exception of Russia, going to see President Xi.
They're not gonna mess with Xi like that. I'm telling you, they ain't go. Well, they say I could give you the acronym, but that still wouldn't be right. So, but they're not gonna come down and find out. They ain't gonna mess with Xi.
Either that or they don't record it and it gets on the news or whatever, but you just don't say it. You don't say it.
Listen, hold on 1 second. She just called. He said they not like us.
They not like us.
That's what he said. Okay, no problem. That's what he said.
They not like us. No.
'Cause you know everybody calls me. You know they do.
Okay, good, Bettina. Let me see if Diddy get ready to call you in a minute. Hold on.
I'm gonna have to put him on hold. Push the hold button.
Push the hold button.
You have a call. So, speaking of Diddy, so his jury pool has been narrowed to 45. And as of today, though, it's probably lower than that, actually. But Sean Diddy Combs is his trial is beginning, and they are in the middle of jury selection. And he's been attending. They have him in regular dress clothes, and he's fully gray now. His beard and his hair is fully gray. They don't have cameras there, but the courtroom sketch artist is actually doing a pretty decent job graying his hair and his beard and whatnot. But his jury selection in the federal sex trafficking trial continued, and they have attorneys will return on Friday. Let's see, and they're going to continue the strike process in the jury process. So right now, just a jury, they're trying to select a jury, and then once that's done, then they will set a date for the trial to begin. But in addition to that, I just wanted to add, he has an all-female defense team. His defense team is all female, and they're all Caucasian. And
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. I apologize. Go ahead, finish, because I gotta let you finish that.
Well, just that was it. He has an all-white female defense team, and again, this is part of his sex trafficking trial that consisted of freak-offs. Said he often filmed people and would hold them hostage pretty much over the filming. And he's got Cassie and another ex-girlfriend who are supposed to be one of the witnesses, or a couple of the witnesses, once the trial begins. Okay, now what say you?
First of all, how in the actual world are they supposed to pick an impartial jury? First and foremost. Okay? Point blank, period. No, serious. There's not one person that hasn't heard whiff, smell, scent, seen, winked, ate, sneezed, coughed, something about this human being. Okay? And because we are human beings, we form our own opinions. We do. We form our own opinions. We have our own thoughts. I mean, yeah, you're going to hear the details, and some may not admit it because, A, I want to be on the jury. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm impartial. My face would have got me kicked off, right? So my face, they would have said, no, ma'am, I'm not going to ask you a question. I don't like what you look like in the face. And I would have said, see y'all later. So the reason I'm saying that is because there is, to me, a very slim chance that you're going to get an impartial jury. Now, what the strategy was for picking an all-white female defense team, you probably should have tried to see if you could get a sister or two on there, right? Because to me, you don't have a nickel in that dime. You haven't really lost much as an all-white, because I mean, I know he's done all people of all kinds and male, females, and all kinds of flipped upside down, and women and black, white, and all that. I think the majority of the people he was kind of sliding around on and dragging around might have been black. So they don't have
allegedly.
Yes. The lawyer called allegedly.
Yes.
So yeah, everybody calls me. I'm just saying. So good luck with all that. I mean, good luck with it.
But to that point, remember when Bill Cosby was on trial? Who doesn't know Bill Cosby?
It's not about the knowing Bill Cosby. It's about Bill Cosby had a whole bunch of, don't get me wrong, he had a whole bunch of, news play. This is everywhere, okay?
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying at the time.
I didn't really see Bill Cosby on Instagram and all this other stuff. I mean, he might have been there somewhere behind the scenes. This right here, Instagram, Twitter, X, K, Elemental P, every one of them sites that got something, he been there. Yeah. With a video and a scream and a drug by the hair and the blase skippity wig.
Allegedly.
He been there.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Thank you, attorney.
And with Bettina, I was watching a little excerpt from The View from this week, and they were saying the exact same thing. There's just absolutely no way that they can find anyone who does not know anything about what's going on with him, for the very reasons that you just mentioned, because it's not just on the news or the newspapers, if they still have newspapers, but it's all over social media.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that in this is CBS News I'm reading from, but they were also saying that when they interviewed the jurors, of course, they had a long list of questions that they had to answer. And some of the questions referred to just that. They asked them, have you seen anything in the news regarding Sean Diddy Combs?
Yeah, that's
and
a
they
stupid
say
question.
yes. Then they asked them if they felt like they could be impartial. One lady said she had heard and seen the videos, but she didn't know the full story, and that she felt like she could be impartial. Bettina, you funny. She felt like
do you see that? I just got kicked off. They just kicked me off.
Well, she says she feels like she could be impartial because she hasn't heard the full story. She saw the videos, but she hasn't heard the full story, so she still could be impartial.
The only people that could be impartial would be anybody that's 85 and above that don't have a social media account that could just go, who? What's his name? What's his real name? What's his real name?
Ma'am, let me just say this real quick and we can move on. I saw the video, but I can be impartial. I don't care what you did. You shouldn't have got drugged by your hair. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
It doesn't matter to me what you said
She didn't
or
hear
what
the
you
full
did.
story. She didn't
Unless
hear
you,
the full story, Bettina. She didn't know the full story. Why he
I
had to
don't
do
need to
that.
know the story. You don't have to, you don't put your hands on nobody and you drug somebody by the head.
It needs to be impartial.
Vanessa,
She didn't know the full
this is
story.
what I got to say, Vanessa.
That's why you ain't allowed in. See, they ain't gonna let you in.
They done put me out. I ain't got kicked out. I'm here to tell you right now. We can move on.
But you know, that was something that Sonny Hostin and the other
Yes.
attorney on the show said. Both of them said that you also don't want someone who's out of touch. You need to be very careful. If it may be that one
a
person
thin
that's
line.
8 years old, been sleep under a rock for 5 years or whatever, knows nothing, and you don't want that person on your jury either.
That's why I said. That's why I said. Because the old people are like, what? No, who? What's his real name? They ain't
Right,
even-
his mama didn't name him that. His mama did not name him that.
What's your government name? What is your government name? Because that ain't your government name.
And anyway,
So-
there's a lot of celebrities that could possibly be called to testify, like Kanye, Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers. There's several. You know, he's got. I'll say allegedly, he's got like a list. My hands won't go wide enough. He's got a long list of celebrities that could possibly be called, according to CBS.
I'm sorry, but one of those names you called, I don't think I will. Because you don't know what he's gonna do when he get on there. I will.
He goes,
Look, the prosecuting, the defense. I ain't fooling with that one. You let him stay where he is.
he gonna come coming up. Look at
And look, and that's the one. Look, and that's the one that's sitting there. He knowing that he calling them, talking about y'all gonna call me. Are y'all gonna call me? He the one that's calling them, asking to be called. Okay.
I wouldn't touch that.
He gonna come in a mess.
It's gonna be interesting. It's got and one thing Sonny said on The View that I agree with. There is no reason that New York does not have cameras. There's no reason. None. They need cameras in the courtroom. That's just the end of that. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So the last thing we'll say on the sports thing, it is NBA playoffs. Y'all need to check in because the people you thought was going to win are not winning. There are a bunch of upsets going on. New York just ripped the heart out of Boston, who everybody swore was going to win ripped the heart out literally.
Celtics?
Just ripped their heart out at the
missed all
last
that.
3 seconds of the game. And then Indiana did the same thing the day before with Cleveland, ripped their heart out. It just tune in is all I got to say. All I got to say. So, Miss Bettina, what the fudge?
What? The entire fudge.
The entire.
Entire fudge. Yeah, sometimes. So been a whole lot of boots on the ground here there lately. It has been. So Talisa, you do your thing. Because sometimes I gotta let things speak for themselves.
I don't know. We may be having some technical difficulties, but we're going to try to entertain.
See what you can come up with. Because
We're going to try to figure it out. But you said, what'd you say, Bettina? There's a lot of boots on the
there's
ground?
been a lot of boots on the ground. There's been a lot of fanfare. Okay? Yes. So some of the boots was scraping the ground clearly from the front. And because the toe probably I'm gonna go with this one. Cause I got flat feet. I'm gonna go with the toe was pushed up against it a little too much up in the front. So I'm just gonna cut that front out and make have a peep toe boot. What I'm gonna have is a peep toe.
As peep
And
toe.
that way, because you can see how the toe is curved in that big toe. And the second one is longer than the first. You see how that toe was probably pinching round up on that side. So in order to keep the boot, because they like that boot. And so in order to keep that boot, I'm going to get that razor and cut right across that toe part so that I can still have my boots on the ground and still have my fan. So to that I say, what the fudge?
Bettina, that's coming to a store near you. We gonna go to the shoe store and see those same boots in the store.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
They're gonna be selling them for $500.
I'm gonna go out on the limb right now and say I'm Miss Me with the peep toe boot. Okay.
What was the store that had the cheap shoes that everybody went to?
Payless.
There you go.
They didn't even have these at Payless.
Oh no.
Not at all.
But
So they said if everybody gonna have their boots on the ground, I'm gonna have mine on the ground too. And then you could see how one was cut real nice, and even that other one over there with the pant leg down, there was some cutting. They had a little cut problem. They had a little
The
razor.
toe was rubbing too much. It just
But you know what, Bettina? Fashion goes out and comes back in. Everything goes full circle because this ain't nothing new. I'm not gonna tell you who it was and who did it, but I know someone.
Somebody did it, but somebody caught this one on camera.
Oh my goodness.
See,
Somebody else
Bettina
wearing this,
Bettina
but
be
somebody just got
everywhere.
caught.
Are you sure this wasn't at the Met Gala that just happened this last week?
That wasn't there. That wasn't there. They asked them not to come. I had got allegedly they asked them not to come. They said we don't want your boots on the ground. So I say to you ladies, what the fudge?
They was at the gala and had the big shoulders and the feet out like that.
I hate to see the fan.
They asked them not to come.
I hate to see the fan and the boots look like that. I don't want to see the fan.
The fan got holes in it. I'm telling you right now. The fan, the little part where you pop it, it's gonna come half. It's gonna be. It ain't gonna pop. It's just gonna stop. Right? You know it. No.
Oh my
So they
goodness.
asked them not to come, is what you say. They just
They
don't come.
asked them not to come allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh boy.
Ooh, I can hear them now because that toe right there can't come up from here. You can't.
Boots on the ground. That's a good one right there. Oh, I said that out loud. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Woo! It's the
Oh, yeah.
toe for me. I'm sorry. It's the toe that was rubbing. That was.
That thing them rubbing it and turned to the side. Cause I'm trying not to touch the side. It just done turned in.
He needed some wiggle room.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Woo!
No, you like this in the pointed toe. Your toes be like that. You be like, man, I need some wiggle room. Wiggle room.
Woo!
Hey, I don't make this stuff up. I just bring it. I just present it. I don't create these words.
He did the Cupid shuffle too much. He did so should have been. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't know nothing about it.
I can't.
That's when folks know they wrong when they tell you, y'all know nothing about this right here.
Y'all know nothing about this right here.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Woo! Okay. See, Bettina, thank you. I appreciate
You are
that.
very
Especially after the bad news we had earlier. We needed that funny. We needed the
Yes,
funny
we
to show
did.
up. God knows we need the funny. So it's Mother's Day weekend.
Yes.
And we just talking about the mamas. And there are TV moms that are revered. Just high end, revered. And I want to say, what's it been 10 years since reality TV showed up? Am I right, y'all? It's been longer than
About
that?
10 years. 10,
Yeah.
12.
About
A little
10
longer
years.
than that might be.
Yeah.
I thought it came into play when we had that strike, the writer's strike years ago.
Right.
No, it was
I
going
heard
on
all
before
of
that.
it.
It got
It was
bigger
before
then.
that. Because,
It got bigger then. It got bigger because wasn't nobody writing nothing. So they had all the reality TV. But it
Remember
was...
Survivor, when Survivor first came on the scene years ago when they had that writer's strike? Because, they've had a few writer's strikes. But
Yes.
years ago when they had that's when Survivor and American Idol and all of those came on the scene. So it's been a while.
So, but the new reality TV moms have kind of changed the look of the TV mom, right? So the TV mom that comes to mind that even though the show was a comedy, everybody looked at was Florida from Good Times.
Yes.
Florida from Good Times was the good mama who was there in spite of everything else happening. And we loved her, especially when James, her husband, died, and she threw that thing on the ground and was upset and said what she said. And
Damn.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So again, we loved her. What's a reality TV mom that you know of? Any thoughts?
So let me just say this. I have thoughts here, and I have to go in. So I like my Florida Evans. I like the mother from That's My Mama, Mabel King.
Yeah.
Right?
Mabel King,
Right?
yes.
Right? I like That's My Mama. Because That's My Mama, to me, she leaned more towards my mama. You understand what I'm saying? The hands on the hips. She was robust. And oftentimes didn't say a word. She just looked at you. Right? However, and she would grit her teeth. She would say, Raj, if you don't... I've never seen June Cleaver grit her teeth. Never saw June Cleaver grit her teeth.
Because
No,
can't mess with them
not the
pearls.
diva.
Can't mess with
Okay.
the pearls. Can't mess
Oh,
with the
wow.
pearls.
She did not grit her teeth. I need some teeth grit in order for me to be able to pay attention and focus.
So you need teeth grit. But you brought up a good one.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my mama. Mabel King was a great mama. And to me, she was always funny the way she walked. She just kind of leaned a little bit, had a little purse, and she would just kind of
That's right.
just go.
That's right, because she was meandering. Listen, first of all, she was
was
carrying
doing just that.
a lot. She was carrying a lot.
She was doing just that. Okay. So we got Mabel King. Sonya, what's a favorite TV mom of yours? What's a good TV mom?
I think my all-time favorite have to be Claire Huxtable.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I just love me some Claire Huxtable.
because Claire was another that could grit the teeth, though.
Yes, she was a professional, but she didn't play with them kids.
Nope.
And she would remind them who was the mama, and she would remind them where she came from in a minute. And so she just reminded me of just like the typical, specifically like the typical Black mother. You know, she may not have been robust, but she could handle them kids, and she didn't play with them, nor did she play with Cliff.
How about
Because
when
she was a
how about when
disciplinarian.
Cliff had to hold her back from somebody? It's usually that Vanessa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was what's the name that went away to different world too?
Yeah, it was her too. It was her too. But that Vanessa used to get her.
She did.
But I want, yeah, I just want to throw one more out there because this lady is so funny to me, and that's the one from Rainbow Johnson.
Blackish.
Blackish. Oh my goodness,
See,
it's just funny to me.
so I want to stay in that vein, and as loud and wrong as she was, I don't care how many times Jennifer Lewis plays somebody's mom.
Yes.
Oh yes,
She, to me, was the epitome because she would just tell you. So when she was on, Jennifer Lewis, for those that don't know, is an actress who has played so many mamas. She calls herself the Hollywood mama. But to me, when she was on Girlfriends,
yes,
and she was Tony Child's mama and got drunk and was drunk, and they had to explain it to the people. Oh my gosh, she was just,
yes.
she
gotta
was
love
just all that.
Oh my.
But she played her role no matter what role she was in. I was actually just seeing a clip of her in the movie with Morris Chestnut and Taraji P. Henson, something not broken. You know what I'm talking
Not
about.
easily broken.
Not easily broken, where she played the mother who was in the house trying to tell the daughter what to do.
Right,
And the
right,
daughter
right.
was losing her marriage as a result of her mother. But the clip that they showed was she admitted finally, she said, Mom, she said, I'm losing my husband. And Jennifer Lewis's role play said, well, I gave you all I had. I didn't have anything. So, you know, I gave you what I had. And she said, Mom, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the house because you're causing my marriage to break. And Taraji P. Henson's role. And she said to her, she said, but I'm going to pray for you. and she hugged her and said, "Mom, I love you." And Jennifer Lewis, again, this is why her role is just so great. She said, "You don't pray for me, pray for yourself." That rejection. But it was real, because we like to think everything is a Claire Huxtable when it's not always that way. So Jennifer Lewis has played the epitome of a mother in all different areas.
Yeah. Because she played the mother on, and you might have already said that. She played the mother on Blackish.
Yes.
She was,
Oh,
she
yeah,
was,
sure did. Mhm.
she was what's his name's mom on Blackish, the husband's mom, Anthony Anderson's mom on Blackish, and she was a trip on there too.
Yes, she was.
She was married to Lawrence Fishburne.
Right.
They were divorced, but
Mm-hmm.
she was once married to him on the show. But yeah, she plays excellent roles.
But to your point, Bettina, first of all, before I go there, Vanessa, is there a favorite mother, a TV mother you have? What stood out?
Claire, I like Claire Huxtable also, but I wanted to ask you all, do you all remember the show, sitcom, What's Happening?
Yes.
Yeah,
And the
right.
mother on there? Because she was an old school mom too.
Yes, she was.
I would take a belt to you, because Dee was always snitching on Raj
Right.
and getting him in trouble, and he get whipped and whatnot. So she was an old school mom too. But yeah, I like her. And what about Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch? You a heck of a woman.
Look at Bettina.
But listen to me. Here
I
we
wasn't scared of her.
No,
I
nobody
was not scared of her.
And neither was Marsha. Neither was Marsha.
was scared of her. Nobody was scared of her.
I wasn't scared of her.
She took on 3 additional kids.
That's true.
She became she had bonus kids. She became a stepmom to her bonus kids.
Can I please add that she had a housekeeper? I'm
She had a what?
just saying, she had a housekeeper. Alice.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the memo. I didn't know to get moms that didn't know.
No, I'm just saying. For me,
Wait,
if you want to go back, I'm gonna clean your own house and cook your own food. I don't want to hear nothing about the housekeeper. And on top of that, let me add this. I'm getting ready to add something really gonna throw y'all off. How about why them kids calling her Miss Alice by her first name? Why she not Miss Alice? Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna back up now. Huh? Because y'all done got my pressure up. I'm telling you, you done pressurized me.
I got one for you, Bettina.
Go ahead with it.
Peg from Love and Marriage.
Now, that was my girl. I can't lie.
Laura said she didn't do nothing.
You talking about wasn't doing nothing?
And
You
was
talking about
shopping.
unconventional? First of all, I like the habit. I'm sorry. She got me. I got her. I'm sorry.
I mean, didn't do nothing.
Well, if we're going to go there, we might as well bring in Edith Bunker.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. I said, but I thought Bettina was going to snatch it down and say, wait a minute now.
Because she used to give Archie.
It's Archie. It's Archie.
She would lean and that
But
head
wait a
would be
minute.
going.
But wait a minute. You remember when Edith got mad that one time and let Archie have it?
Yes.
One time, too.
Yes.
That one time she got mad.
That was it. That was it, though. It was just once.
And that's what he needed. It was somebody that was going to coalesce with his behavior. But when she'd had enough, that was it. So I love Edith because she would just be whiny and drag him somewhere he needed to be. But Archie, you cannot do this. But if we're going to do that, then you have to bring in the Jeffersons. You have to bring in
come
the
on.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Who?
Mrs. Jefferson from the
yeah.
Jeffersons.
Yeah.
But her voice was so deep, it scared me when I was younger. I did. It just...
Y'all
It sounded like one of my aunties that used to dip snuff. I had an auntie that used to. I'm just saying. And she
It
also
was so
smoked the pipe.
deep.
And she used to spit a lot. She had a can. It was old. She used to spit a lot. She had an old can. There used to be one of them. You know how they had back in the day them coffee cans? But you didn't clean it out, but you used to spit. And then who was the grandchild that had to go dump that?
I know.
No. Here's the thing. They would always ask for a kiss. I
They
don't
always
want
wanted
to
some
kiss.
sugar. No, come give me some sugar.
I had a cousin who had, a heavy voice like that. Female. how come I almost got beat down because Daddy thought it was a boy calling the house. It was nothing I could say to say it's a girl. She's my classmate. She's my cousin. I many times I told him who she was. Let him call here again. Let him call. It's a girl.
Vanessa traumatized. You can see it. She needs therapy. Vanessa is traumatized. She can't get up.
Oh, Jesus.
She had it. I mean, she's had it ever since I've known her. Still probably has it today. Yeah, I was about to get a beating because he thought it was a boy calling the house.
I'll keep it close to the cross.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to digress a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, I need a good Look, I need a good digression every now and again.
Oh my gosh. But again, it's you know, the TV moms that we saw that were great. What about Vivian that was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Vivian. I like the original.
I like the original too.
Yeah,
I did
think
too.
when they changed it was different.
Yeah.
It was. Her temperament was different, and for me, like I said, I need that side eye. I need some nostril flaring. If you want me to pay attention, I need some side eye, some nostril flaring. You cannot say to me, "Beef." Now you know that's not the nice thing to. You can't. I done rolled my eyes and kept moving because you're not talking to me.
What about 227 with Marla Gibbs?
Yes. Yes. Marla was more mellow than the others, but when she put her hands on her hips and she looked at Brenda, well, she told Les what wasn't gonna happen. Same thing.
Now you got to bring the grandmamas in because the boy that she was dating, he was living with his grandmother.
Calvin.
Yes.
Calvin's grandmother.
Grandma.
Yeah.
I liked her because she was a little old school, but then she's little, you know, whatever else. But I will ask, ladies, from these characters we've mentioned, you know, as we come to a close with our conversation, what was something that stuck out that you liked that they did on the show?
They held you accountable. They were strict. They showed love, but they showed it in the form of discipline when needed. And I think, I'm not saying, you know, you don't have to beat your kids to get them to understand that they need discipline in their lives, but I think we're lacking in a lot of that nowadays. But they showed love in the form of strong, strict discipline.
Yes. Vanessa, I concur, and I like not that they just showed love. They were consistent. They were strong. And it was clear that they were about their life, period. And it didn't need to be seen on TV like, you don't want this smoke. Before that was a phrase. That's what those mothers that I mentioned, you know, Florida and Felicia Rashad, you know, Claire, and That's My Mama, and, you know, What's Happening. They were about their life, and they was like, you don't want that smoke. The kids even said it. Roger would say, I'm not. How am I gonna tell Mama that? And Dee would say, ooh, I'm gonna tell Mama.
Yep.
I agree with the both of you, and I would say that even though in all of those shows they showed the Black family in different ways, whether it was the single mom raising her children, or you know, the nuclear family with the husband, the wife, and the children, and all of that. Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, they disciplined in love. They were protective of their children, and they made sure that they talked to them to help them to understand the reason why I am doing this is because of X, Y, and Z. They wanted nothing but the best for their children. So in the things that they were doing, it was for their protection and out of love for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to bring another show in we didn't mention. I fell in love with a show some years ago. It's no longer showing active. It's, reruns that they have, but a show called Half and Half
Oh yeah.
that I loved, because what was interesting about the show was, Mona, who's the older daughter, was her parents were married, they got divorced, and he ended up marrying someone else and had a child by her, and the sister wanted to come back and be, sisterly with each other. But what's interesting about the show is the two mothers that were on the show, the comedy is watching them go back and forth, but they supported their daughters.
They
so
did.
to me, that was more significant with what's now, because there are a lot of blended families, and you didn't see the moms leave in the midst of the challenge. It was a comedy. Comedies have stuff that is just made bigger to kind of look silly or whatever else, but one episode I saw with, the more rich family, the younger daughter and her mother, and she said, your goal was to get closer to your sister. So in spite of her going back and forth with the other child's mother, she kept the real thing.
Right.
And when they had holidays, they celebrated all together. You don't see that now.
Right.
I don't want you calling her. Why are you calling her? They brought all that together so that they could all celebrate as a family. So I think that to me, the cornerstone, my opinion only, is the mother, because when all the things go on, the father has to deal with all the other stuff that goes on, that mother holds it down. While they have to do, the kids have to do, we got to be here, the husband has to be, remember the song back in the day, I Can Bring Home the Bacon? It was just talking about how much I could do and still make you feel like a man. So to me, that foundation is the mother. Final words, ladies, what do you think?
Talisa, my final word is going to speak to what you just said. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I have a blended family, and what you just shared with us is so pivotal and important, that when a man remarries or he's living with a woman, it's important that that woman supports him in supporting his children. And oftentimes, because they are so concerned about the ex-wife or whomever the ex is, the children's mother, a lot of women can't do that, and they got to get out of the way of that. And I wish men would stand up to these women when they're in relationships with these type women who don't understand how important it is for me to have a relationship with my children. It should be encouraged. Put your own feelings aside and make sure that this man, you got him now. So what's the problem? But encourage him to take care of and be there for his children. So I'm so glad that you highlighted that show, because that's a great point.
Yeah. It just really supports, again, sometimes, and I'll say this as we end, sometimes in the midst of all the things we have to do, something else happens and we don't feel like we're significant. We are.
Yes.
We are.
Absolutely.
If you're the single mama, if you're, the bonus mom, if you are the grandmom, if you're significant. Look at when these children get awards. The first person outside of God to go, to my mama.
Right.
The fathers get mad. How do you say her for cuz? She the foundation of this whole thing.
Right.
And we are significant. So whether you have birthed a child, whether you have mothered a child, regardless, we hold it down, and we need to recognize that we are important to our families.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, this has been a fabulous conversation. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas.
Yes.
And
Blessed Mother's Day.
And celebrate for Mother's Day. I don't care what it is. Go find yourself something. Go get some ice cream. Go do something for yourself. It's nice the kids gonna do it, but go do something for yourself. Celebrate you. So, ladies, you want to say bye before we go?
God bless. Enjoy your Mother's Day. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Bye.
Get ready for Sonia, Teresa, Vanessa, Bettina. Come on.